Okay, so now we need to lay out our boards to figure out where our lap joints are going to go. So I already know we got our legs. Cross pieces. And our connection. So this is our layout. What I'm trying to do is figure out, what side of the boards are going to get lap jointed. What side is going to stay long, what side are we going to get carved out. So I've already laid it out and sort of looked at it and figured it out. So I already knew that these two pieces, these are the sides I wanted to look at from behind, because you're going to see this on the back side of the tool. So I wanted the best side sort of on the back. So I knew that was going to happen. So then I just needed to lay these out. And what side do I wanted, again, to see on this side, on the back side for these pieces, these cross braces. Then something like that. So then I can know, and I marked and did a whole lot of measuring or whatever, that on these leg pieces, this is the side I'm going to take out. And on these cross pieces, this is the side I'm going to take out. So again, over here, they're marked. This is the side I'm going to take out. These are the sides we're going to take out. And then again, I decided in here on this piece that I wanted to match the look of these two pieces. So I wanted to see this as a solid run on this side. So again, I knew that this side was going to be the side I wanted to take, the half out, and this side in the middle, take the half out. And there was a lot of measurement and making things square and et cetera, to make sure this works. Well, now I have all the boards marked as to where I'm going to take out the lap joints, so that they'll fit together. And now it's just a long process of cutting all the lap joints. So as I mentioned before, we're going to do what are called lap joints to put the pieces together, instead of just screwing one right onto the other. Because what that'll allow me to do, it'll actually allow me to have, or to screw this way or screw this way, whatever. It'll allow me to have a completely flat surface and where to put, the plywood right to it. But this is just sort of a weak joint, whether I screwed in this way, or even screwed all the way from this way. It's not the best joint. It'll do, and it'll manage for certain applications, but we're going to try and do a lap joint on this one. So what does that mean? That means we're going to take a regular piece, and we're going to lap this over. What we're going to do is we're going to cut off half of the width here, all the way to the end. We'll cut off this half here, and we'll be able to then lap them over each other and secure them together so that they're flat. So how do we do this? So we need to get the width. And we'll double check this with a, so we need to take off that much from that. And then the same thing over here. like that. And this should be about 3.5 inches. It might be just a little shy. Make sure we're just double check, make sure these are 3.5 square. Yep. So these should be 3.5 inches. That line should be 3.5 inches. So we're just outside it there. Probably angled my pencil a little off there. Same thing on this one. Now this is just going to be a practice one, just to kind of make sure we can see how this all works. Okay, now I only want to go about, so these are about 1.5 inches deep. So I only want to go 3/4 of an inch. So in this case, 3/4 of an inch. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to do that by setting a stop block on my miter saw. We'll show you how to do it. In order to set the depth on my miter saw, you can see down here at the bottom, we've got my 3/4 inch block there. That's how far I want it to go. How far I want the blade to go. It's all I want it to go is 3/4 of an inch. Okay, well, how do I stop it there all the time? Well, then you take this tab, you flip it down, line up your saw, and then screw this down so it just raises it a hair. Now, it shouldn't go any more than let me back that off just a little bit, 3/4 of an inch down. So now I should be able to just raise it up just a touch. Now I can go 3/4 of an inch down on my board, and I should be good. That'll allow me to cut only 3/4 of an inch down, and we're good. So now that we have our stop lined up, so it's going to come down to just 3/4 of an inch. We've got our measurements as to how far we want it to go. So now we're just going to cut. We're just going to keep nibbling away all the material all along through here, just to give us a nice lap joint to go with. Okay, so there we go. We got a little curve here because we're sticking out a little bit. Thought we could put a little scrap in there. Finish this job. And there we have a half lap. So we'll do the other side, the other one, and we'll go from here. So now that both pieces are done, you can see how this fits together. Basically, just take a piece, put it over the top. It should be flush on all sides. So, you know, we're probably a 1/16 of an inch over here, 1/16 of an inch over there. So I'll just know when I go to do them for real, because it's just a practice one, because I wanted to see how it goes, that we're good to go. And that is pretty flat on the top. So I think our depth is right. We just got to make sure our cuts here are just a little shallower or a little narrower front to back. Well, that's one. And then you just, you can glue it, you can screw it. That way you've got a nice flat joint, flat side on all sides, and you're good to go. So that's what we're going to do to create the joints on all the pieces.